Hello, welcome back once again. This is Eric Ajna, your host, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jennifer Lynn. Hey, Jen.
Hi.
We are back with a very special guest, actually. He is the Urban Buddhist Monk. He's a global public speaker and teacher of Mindfulness Meditation. He's also a spiritual counselor and founder of Canada, a Mindful and Kind Nation. He's the recipient of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms from the Government of Canada. He's also the recipient of the Canada 150 Medal and Sesquicentennial Community Award from the Government of Canada. He's also the recipient of the Spirit Award from the Government of Ontario. A lot of different awards,
Yeah.
Jen. He's known as the Urban Monk, which is an appropriate nomenclature for a Buddhist monk, especially for the time that we're living in. He's been acclaimed as a consummate teacher of meditation by a growing number of seekers of spiritual and healthy life and peace of mind in North America and in Europe, and who also admire his simple and all-embracing approach in transmitting the universal message of love, kindness, compassion, understanding, and wisdom. Everybody, welcome Bhante, the Urban Buddhist Monk.
Hi, Bhante.
Hi, Jen. Hi, Eric. Thank you so much for that kind introduction.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you. And we're definitely grateful to have you on. You look very nice.
Yeah.
And you look exactly how we imagined you would look.
Who can deny this color, Like,
Yeah.
Look at my robe color, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. If I saw you walking down the street, I definitely know it was you. That's for sure.
It
Yeah.
was actually funny. In early 90s, when I came to this country, I would walk on the streets as a typical Buddhist monk.
Mm-hmm.
And people were not familiar with this color or this kind of uniform. And I got some, mixed reactions from the public. And some thought I was an alien from another planet. and then there were a lot of people. Actually, Canadians are actually very nice, very kind people. And they were kind of curious and they wanted to know me. I have this great experience of having some people, when I used to go to ESL classes, and I would take public transportation. So even the bus driver got used to me and he would wait for me. And there were a few people who would just wait for me in the intersection just to get the glimpse of me and to have a little conversation. So it was nice, I really enjoy, and they really love to see me in this orange color. And by the way, this color is the symbolic for spirituality, wisdom, insight, knowledge.
That's interesting. I actually didn't know that. And I was wondering what, the deal is with the specific color. So it's good, definitely good to know that. And that's a good thing that you're able to find these people on the streets that probably have a lot of questions when they see you. Because typically when I see like monks, you have to go traditionally to a monastery, and they have them down here in California, but you don't typically see them walking down the street. So if I was one of those people, I'd probably do the same. And it's good that you're open to them and you're receptive to those questions, because especially right now, I think it's really important to be able to answer those questions,
Yeah. It was also nice to receive some little notes from the public, and who were kind of shy to talk to me, but they would just give me a piece of paper with a little note.
Oh.
Thank you. Yeah. And thank you for smiling.
Oh,
Yeah, I love that.
I love that
That's
too.
really
That's great.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. So we have some questions for you, and we hope that you, of course, have answers, and we'll get right into it, and then we'll touch on these, and we'll have more of a conversation about it. And anything that you'd like to share, definitely share your wisdom with us. So we wanted to just first start out by just asking you, what does it mean to be an urban monk, in opposed to just the traditional monk, and how is it different?
Okay, Eric, let me just tell you this little story, how I started calling myself or branded myself as the Urban Buddhist Monk, UBM. So some years ago, I was having a friendly conversation with one of my students. We were doing mindful sipping tea, and he asked me a question about the monastic tradition. So I told him, his name is Robert. I said, Rob, look, there's a forest tradition, there's a village tradition. So after becoming a monk, you have two options. Either you can adopt the forest tradition, which means you don't deal with the society, you don't deal with the people. You just go to the forest and live your own secluded life, dedicating your time and energy to the practice of meditation. And you don't really worry about what's going on in the society.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the village tradition, they have the option to actually both. They can meditate. At the same time, they live in the village to help people, to study. So I was in the forest tradition actually in Sri Lanka for some years. And then I came to the city. And then, of course, after coming here, I'm living in one of the biggest cities in the world, Toronto. And so my friend said, Robert, it's a Bhante, you're not a forest monk anymore. You're the urban monk.
So you're going to give you that name.
That's true.
Yeah, he wanted to. So I love that brand name, okay? And then he wanted to open a website for me and to get the domain name. So he did a Google to see whether there's an urban monk in the world. And guess what? There is an urban monk in the United States.
Oh, wow, really?
Wow.
But he's a layperson.
He's a layperson?
Layperson, but he goes by that brand name. Like maybe he was a monk in previously, but maybe later on he gave it up. But he's a layperson. So then I told my student Rob, he's Rob, because he's an urban monk, but I am the urban Buddhist monk.
There you go. Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
You know?
So then he created a website with that domain name. And so from that time till now, I'm known in the world as the only urban Buddhist monk.
Oh.
And now I call urban Buddhist monk because there are so many reasons. First of all, I have been in the forest tradition. And then I returned to the society, dealing with the people living in the society, in the village. And I'm dealing with the real people, actually. You know, the struggles, the emotional struggles, the problems. And people are seeking some help. So after coming to this country, to Canada, to our monastery in Toronto, and I started teaching a meditation session. Actually, this is my 25th year of conducting that weekly meditation session. And so I see people coming from all ages, all backgrounds, all walks of life, and they are coming here seeking some spiritual help. And after listening to their stories, as you said, I do a lot of spiritual counseling sessions for the public. And so I got to listen to so many stories. And by sharing the simple message, and I was able to bring relief, happiness, joy, and I was able to save so many lives, by the way, especially those who were suicidal. I was able to save their lives. And if you really want to know one story highlighted by Canadian national news, as well as CTV national news, if you search the Buddhist monk who saved a young man's life, by CTV National News. That story will pop up. So anyway, like that, I was able to save so many lives here. And not only that, there are people, actually the community people, who need your help. And they want a monk to teach meditation, dharma to their kids, the new generation. And there are people who are looking for you, especially those who lost their loved ones. They need some spiritual help. And they said, please, come and spend some time with us. Give us some light. So we would perform funeral services. We would give public talks. We would do community programs. We would do educational programs. And in fact, I have a Sunday school. I have been running the Sunday school for, again, 25 years. I was able to, build several generations of kids through this Sunday Dhamma school. And I have close to 400 kids coming every Sunday.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's amazing. I love that story. And it's definitely, it makes sense because I think my traditional, I guess from my experience with studying Buddhism or even just the workings of, I guess, more Eastern ascetic sort of like sadhus of like the Hindu culture is that they typically go into the mountains. They, renounce a lot of things in their life. And I feel like based off of kind of where the world is at right now, if anybody's in that sort of healing community or sharing any type of wisdom, I think the best place to share that is in really large, densely populated areas, where there's lots of life happening. There are a lot of different types of personalities and different types of dynamics of people. And it makes sense that you would find your way into the public sphere as far as the more urban communities, because we live in urban communities, right? And there's a lot more activity here in terms of, disparity and income inequality and socioeconomic, status and things like that. So I am grateful that you're able to share your practice with a lot of those people, maybe that aren't even familiar with Buddhism, because there still is a lot of mystery behind, I imagine what it means to be a Buddhist. And I feel like now it's definitely more open. I'm seeing a lot more people following the sort of Buddhist path, the middle way. And they need people like yourself to come in and offer that type of healing. So,
right. Yeah. And speaking of some of the mysteries surrounding Buddhism, could you tell us a little bit about the 10 precepts of being a monk? So our listeners know what kind of like your day-to-day life is like.
Well, it's, Jen, it's not just the 10 precepts. Okay, let me tell you, I think there are different levels of practices of precepts, okay? There are 5 precepts, there are 8 precepts, there are 10 precepts, and then 227 precepps for the monks. And then there are 311 precepts for the nuns.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's a lot of precepts.
Yeah, that's a lot of precepts.
You got to memorize all those, huh?
Well, I think maybe it's in English, we call the precept. But in Buddhist tradition, we call them Sikkhapada. Sikkha means training. Pada means the principle. So these are the training principles. So the generally every Buddhist have to follow 5 training principles. And then what are these 5 training principles? Refraining from taking life, refraining from stealing, refraining from sexual misconduct, refraining from lying, refraining from consuming alcohol and drugs. Okay, so these are the what we call the precepts that every Buddhist has to follow. So what does it mean? Those are the negative actions. Okay, negative actions like taking life, stealing, sexual misconduct, that's abuse in the relationship, telling lies, doing alcohol and drugs. And these are negative actions that cause the problems in every life. It doesn't really matter though you're Buddhist or not.
Okay, yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we are human beings, okay? We are just human beings. Though you live in California, though I live in Ontario, though others live in Asia, Europe, or Africa, we are human beings. Affiliations, cultural backgrounds, political backgrounds don't really matter. But as human beings, as typical human beings, every person has the tendency of doing these wrong things. Right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
So all the problems are coming into being in our personal life, in the family life, in the social life, in global level, because of doing these negative actions. We are hurting people, we are taking life, we are killing, the shooting going on, and then of course cheating, the stealing, and cheating is going on relationship. As a result of that, the family life is getting disintegrated,
Right.
and the people are lying to one another, and the people are doing drugs. And so these are the real problems of the society. These were the problems of the society then, in the 6th century. Even today, in the 21st century, though we have the advanced technology, we are still having the same tendency to do these negative things. So then if you really want to, of course, as human beings, we also have another tendency. We want to be happy, okay? We want to live a happy and peaceful life, healthy life. Then we need to understand unhealthy actions, negative actions make us unhealthy. Healthy actions, healthy deeds make us healthy people. Okay? So so you need to train. As you refrain from the negative actions, then you need to train yourself to do the opposite of these negative actions. So the opposite of taking life is giving freedom, respecting life. Opposite of stealing is giving, practicing generosity, sharing. Opposite of sexual misconduct is respecting the relationship, being contented with what whoever you are with. Opposite of lying is speaking the truth. And opposite of alcohol is orange juice, apple juice.
Yeah.
Hey, I like apple juice.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
No, I mean, no, the thing is, all this alcohol and drugs, they make us drunk, right? When we are drunk, we are unconscious. Then we don't know what's going on, what's happening. So that's unconsciousness. So the opposite of alcohol, drugs is the consciousness. So mindfulness. So now to do these good things, you need to train yourself, your mind especially, your brain. Now, as a monk of the 21st century, and I really love the psychology and neuroscience. Neuroscience is such a wonderful discipline, wonderful science that explains the true structure of our brain plasticity. We have two types of brains. Like we think we have one brain, right? But within this one brain, we have two. Today, the neuroscientists call them the Velcro brain and the Teflon brain.
Oh, interesting.
So Velcro is a chemistry word. Velcro means, so maybe in you, Eric, your shoes have Velcro. Like Velcro means in chemistry, sticking.
Sticking.
Right, yeah. I've had Velcro shoes before.
Yeah. I think we all did when we were 3.
And then Teflon means non-sticking, right? So the whole purpose of the Velcro brain is to make us or make you miserable. So the Velcro brain knows how to exactly make you a miserable person. Now, how does it make you miserable? Well, it knows that there are certain actions prohibited to do. If you, it's like, like when you go back to Bible story, they even in a story. They ate the forbidden fruit from the forbidden tree, right? And then what happened? And after that, they became sinners, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So in our society, we all know that taking life, right, killing is forbidden, right? It's not good, and stealing is forbidden. It's not good. Sexual misconduct, cheating is forbidden. Lying is forbidden. Doing alcohol, and doing drugs, this is a forbidden thing in the societies. So now the Velcro brain knows that it makes you do what is forbidden to do. Now, when you do what is forbidden to do, then you're in big trouble. Right? You're in big trouble.
Yeah.
And then when you get into this big trouble, guess what? Your Velcro brain starts dancing within, singing a cool song. Yeah, I got you. You are miserable now. Yeah, that's what I want you to be.
Yeah. Would you say that is the same as sort of Mara tempting the Buddha?
Yeah, you got it. I was going to tell you.
Right? Because
Beat him to the punch.
And I think that's the ultimate sort of a challenge that I think most of us, especially in our communities here, are at odds with, which are a lot of, I imagine, the workings of the ego. Right. So it's like this over-identification with substance, with sex, with things that largely go unnoticed by as unconscious behaviors. So what would you say is the consequence? Because, and I know that when you talk about the precepts, I mean, not to do drugs, not to drink, I mean, we can strive for that. But I notice from my experience, even as a human being, we tend to kind of teeter-totter back and forth. And so what would you say is the consequence to engaging? I mean, obviously you should never take a life, but I mean, in terms of like the more, I guess, trivial things like alcohol or something that people consume on a daily basis. What would you say is the consequence of these things in terms of like karma, maybe?
Well, this is the thing. When you do something unconsciously, right? And of course, maybe you're conscious. You know that alcohol is kind of bad. You know that. It's bad for your health too. And then you need to make some extra money to line up at the LCBO, right? And so what you have to do is that, of course, we have the tendency to do all this. Now, it's a matter of choice that you have to make. Let's say, just because you did these bad things, it doesn't mean you're a bad person, okay? But what we are practicing dharma, we are practicing this spiritual path to reduce the bad nature, the level of bad that we have within ourselves, and eventually to completely get rid of it. And so you know that there's a universal law that is called the karma, right? Whatever you do, of course, you have the choice to do anything, but at the end, you're responsible for your own karma.
Right. And we actually talked about this last week about in the US, I feel like specifically people have like a negative connotation toward karma. Like, oh, watch out, don't do that. Karma's going to get you. It's coming for you. So what do you think about that?
Well, that is, every action has a reaction, right?
Right.
That's very scientific. If you do something bad, and there will be bad consequences. If you do something good, there will be good results, right?
Yeah.
And nobody can deny this. Now, for the typical example, we know that let's say the murdering someone, we all know it's bad. you can shoot, but do you think after shooting you can like live a life freely in the society? But let me tell you a story. Okay, let me tell you this story. I think this is a very interesting story. This is a Jataka story. We call Jataka story. There was a rich family. They had only one child, and so this rich family wanted their child to get the best education from the best education center at the time. So it's very expensive, like, how it is so costly going to Harvard or Yale. So in the same way, but the rich parents could afford to send their child to this institution. So they send the child to that best education center. So now there were many children, many students. So there was this teacher who gave them an assignment one day to test their intelligence, maybe to test their IQ, okay? So what was the assignment? He said, hey students, I want all of you to do these assignments for me. They said, so what's the assignment? I want all of you to go and steal something from somewhere and bring that for me as a gift. And then all the students said, yeah, we can do it. It's easy, it's a piece of cake. We can do it. But then the teacher said, but I want you to steal that in such a way that nobody can see it. But if somebody sees that, you cannot bring that as a gift for me. Then all the students said, yeah, we can do it. I know, we are smart, we're intelligent, we can do it. So then everybody went into different directions. And of course, they were very smart. They stole something from a house, from all directions, and they all brought that for the teacher as a gift. But one student did not do that. And now all the students gathered in the classroom. So the teacher said, hey, so did you do the assignment? They said, yes, we did that. See, I brought this for you. I stole this particular item from that house. Nobody has seen it. And everybody gave all the stolen items to the teacher except that child from the rich family. And everybody started picking on him. They made fun of him. Look, what a badass, right? You're not smart. You could not do this simple thing.
Yeah.
And then that child remained very calm and patient. So the teacher asked him, said, how come you didn't do this assignment for me? Look, everybody did that for me. How come you were so disobedient to me? And then that child spoke up. He said, sir, it's not that I cannot do, I can. But you put a condition that we have to steal something in such a way that nobody can see it. Then that child argued. He said, sir, it is impossible to do. Now everybody said, what? Look, we did it. Nobody saw it. Really? Although people did not see what you stole, but there is someone that saw what you were doing. That is your conscience.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, that's a great story.
Yeah, then the teacher said, look, I gave this assignment to all of you to test your IQ, how smart, how intelligent you are. All of you failed except this one child, one student. He's the smartest guy.
Yeah. So I like to think that like the spirit like intrinsically knows what is loving and also what's kind of separate from that. And I think that's where the conscious kind of comes into play. Is like, I know that when I do something bad, there's this sort of deeper knowing inside of me that feels that guilt or that shame for doing it.
Right.
And I wanted to actually ask you about karma, just like Jen was talking about. When I read up about a lot of these sort of traditional Buddhist teachings, a lot of, or some of the dialogue that I hear is about, well, how to resolve karma, how to not take on any more karma in this life. Is that the ultimate goal of trying to avoid, a reoccurring sort of bout of reincarnation? Is the point to sort of, sit in a room, not moving, not taking on more karma, not taking on more action?
No, that is a misconception. And of course, we all have to live in the society. We are living beings. We do things. Now, we have a greater goal, right? As like in Buddhism, let's say nirvana. In Judeo-Christian religious tradition, is the kingdom of God, right? Mm-hmm. So now, to go to nirvana, to go to kingdom of God, what do you think?
Can you help us? Can you define, just for our listeners, because we have people that listen from all different types of lineages of spirituality. Can you define, from your perspective, what nirvana means?
Nirvana is the freedom from suffering. That is the enlightenment. That's the release from the cycle of life. Okay? And let's say we call samsara. Samsara, the cycle of life. It goes on and on, on and on.
And that's lifetimes, right?
Yeah.
Like incarnations.
Yeah, incarnation, rebirth. So nirvana is the release, complete release from the cycle of life. Now, when we talk about the cycle of life, the entire cycle of life is based on suffering, the problems, right? So nirvana means you become free from the human suffering. You become enlightened, awakened. You become the happiest. Your happiness is not based on particular thing. So that is the ultimate goal, to realize nirvana. Until we realize nirvana, we have to get going in this cycle of life. So as typical human beings, if you ask a question from everyone, where do you want to go after your death? Everybody will say, I want to go to heaven. Mm-hmm. I want to go to the kingdom of God.
Right. I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go.
I'm in.
Is there anyone who wants to go to hell?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I don't know.
Why? People know that hell is nothing else but pain, the suffering, the problems, misery, right?
Right.
It's painful. It's painful. So who go to, who go to the hell? Who decides? It's not that someone is pushing you to go there. It's not that someone is selecting you to go to send you to the hell, but it is the natural actions that we are doing. The one thing you need to understand, there are 4 things. I think I really, there's a long story. I don't think we have time to talk about this long story, but there's a particular discourse of the Buddha. And in that discourse, he talks about 4 things. I can make them very simple for your audience. Behavior, habit, attitude, mentality. 4 things. Okay? So now, if the behavior is negative, if the habit is negative, if the attitude is negative, if the mentality is negative, what do you think the end result?
I imagine it's going to be some form of emotional hell that we create for ourselves, right?
Everything will be negative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's almost like we choose our own version of that hell, right? That pain that we put ourselves through.
Exactly, it's from our actions. Like, that's why you need to understand that is the very reason why in Buddhist tradition they say, if you really, really love yourself, care for yourself, train yourself to do good. First, refrain from all the negative things, and then train yourself to do good. So that is, hell is, now I am trying to make it simple for you, okay? Hell is nothing else but a creation of the Velcro brain. Your Velcro brain wants you to suffer.
Right. And that would,
It wants you to live in misery.
and that would be like the Mara constantly tempting us to do bad things.
Eric and Jen, behind every negative action, there's something else. Now, why are we doing these negative things? There's a reason for that. Now, when a lot of high school students come to see me for my sessions, I actually have a lot of fun with them by asking these questions, talking about this. Let's say you want to hurt someone. You want to take a life or shoot or kill. Why do you want to do that? Behind this act of killing, there is something deeper that you're not aware of. Why do you want to kill someone? Do you have any clue?
I imagine
Revenge or power.
or there's something inside of them that's hurting from something.
Okay, from something. It's hurting. This hurting is creating what?
Negativity.
Yeah, negativity, fear.
Yeah. Okay. There's a particular emotion. Okay. There's a particular emotion involved in it. Okay. Behind this act of killing, there's a particular emotion involved in it. Maybe fear, maybe hatred, maybe anger, maybe jealousy. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then this negative action is based on this negative emotion, negative thought. And then you lose the control over this emotion. In this, there's a constant fight going on between two things. One is we can say the intelligence, okay? Intelligence and the emotion or the drive. So in this fight between the emotion and the intelligence, normally who wins? It's always the emotion, right? So we easily give in to the emotion. And when emotion wins, at the end, it makes us very guilty. When we get into trouble, it's like, I have spoken to many people who have spent their time in the jail. And the one thing they said, I wish I could not have done it. I wish I could not have said that. Because all emotions are blind. They make you blind. You don't see. And also in typical Buddhist tradition, Buddha said that we have dusty eyes. When we see the dusty eyes, our eyes are full of dust. With the dusty eyes, nothing is visible. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
Right. That makes perfect sense. And that's kind of the state of the United States right now, surrounding politics and the election. Everyone has dusty eyes. The emotions are so high. It's so hard to see the other side.
Yeah. And to kind of speaking to what you're saying about the difference between like intelligence and emotion, I guess maybe another way of saying that would be like your mind and your heart, or your mind and your spirit. Because I think of like those things that you're talking about, that doing the bad things is almost like the product of the primitive brain taking over the spirit, right?
Yeah.
And when we're not operating from what you're saying, like awareness, then we fall victim to a lot of the emotional sensations in the body that cause us to kind of go down those paths.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we are talking about this, the Teflon brain. Teflon brain or Teflon mind is responsible for your happiness, your joy, all the good things. Okay? So now, in this practice, what are we doing? We are learning to do, this is in line with the modern psychology, okay? This is called what we call the shifting attention. Now, of course, a political shift is taking place. it just took place today, right? So in the same way, in a personal level, we need to do this shift our attention from Velcro to Teflon. So when of course, maybe we were doing the negative things because we thought, maybe we were told to do so. Maybe we were brainwashed to do so, right? Or maybe we just felt like, oh yeah, it's good. It's my life. It's my life. I can do what I want to. So then we easily give in to these things. But then if you, our emotional brain, actually, Velcro brain is at the moment is very powerful. So we are practicing Dharma, this path, to feed the Teflon brain, Teflon mind. And so doing, as Buddha said, doing good is the hardest thing to do. And doing bad is a piece of cake for everyone.
Right.
To do bad things, do you have to send the kids to school or to church or temple? You don't need to send the kids to the church or temple or school to learn how to do bad things. They are going to do them anyways. That's the typical nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then we do these things. We need the Dharma, we need the meditation, we need the temple, church to learn the good things. So when we do the good things, then in personal level, we feel good. We feel very happy and very peaceful. And then when you become a good person, then of course, you're loved, you're cared for. Everybody loves you, right? And then you feel good about that. You feel happy, you feel peaceful. And this is the very reason why I started a new movement some years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about that movement?
I started it from Canada.
Yeah.
And I officially call Canada a mindful and kind nation. So my global movement is now actually with the president-elect, new president-elect, I think we can hope for that. I would like to see one day United States of America being called a mindful and kind nation. And so this is my global mission. I go to different countries and do this program. Now this principle is based on, this movement is based on one principle that is called the kindfulness. Okay?
Kindfulness, that's cool.
It's like you're combining the two.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, I like that.
Mindfulness. Kindfulness comes from two words, kindness and mindfulness. Okay? So you need to, it can be meant two things actually. First of all, kindfulness, be full with kindness. It's called kindfulness. You make yourself full with kindness, okay? And the second thing is, mindfulness, people talk about mindfulness, but what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is about remembering all the time, to remember. Always remember. Remember what? Always remember to be kind to yourself. Always remember to be kind to others. Be mindful to be kind to yourself. Be mindful to be kind to others. Now imagine Eric and Jen. Let's say let's say I'm a kindful monk. Okay, people know me as the kindful monk, okay? Now, I'm not hurting anyone. I'm being kind to myself. At the same time, I'm being kind to everyone around me. Visible, invisible, near or far. I'm being kind to everyone. Now imagine, Eric, you also do the same. Now, Jen, imagine you also do the same. Now we have what? 3? We're kindful global citizens. Now, let's say, Eric, you're going to maybe one day you're choosing to have someone in your life. So as a kindful man, you're attracting a kindful woman.
Oh yeah, bring that on. I'm ready for that. Ready to go.
Right? And then you will be called a kindful couple.
Oh yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, and Jen, let's say Jen is very kindful and everything, and Jen is attracting a kindful man. Now again, kindful couple. And from you, there will be a kindful family. If you again choosing to expand your family, there will be a kindful family. Then you will have kindful children.
So it almost seems like this thing that is constantly building and expanding and growing, right?
Exactly. And then you're going to be surrounded with the kindful friends. You know what? This is something like this. Follow the nature, okay? Follow the nature. The bees normally go to a particular flower. If the flower, no matter where it is, although it is far away, this flower may not be beautiful, but that flower is full of nectar. When a flower becomes full of nectar, all the bees receive.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's the law of attraction, just attracting more good things in your life as you put out good things out of your heart.
Yeah. So in the same way, now imagine your heart is full of nectar of kindfulness. Everybody will love you. Now you have given up all the negativity. Now you have chosen the positivity. So not by nature, people don't like to hang around with the negative people. Of course, there are some people, same-minded people, but at the end, they regret for it, right? So now imagine you become violent, you become aggressive. People are going to go away from you. It's not just you, even the animals run away from you.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true.
So
speaking of your mindfulness work, I mean, you did some work with the Canadian police. Do you want to share a little bit of information about that?
That is an amazing thing that I was able to do. That's how, actually, that program with Canadian police brought me fame, in the world. Mm-hmm. That's how people got to know me. So this is what happened. Like one day, 2 police officers came to see me. And originally, they wanted to build a community relationship with us. And so we were having some quality time, enjoying some tea. And so they said, Bhante, you don't have to tell us anything about you. We know who you are. We know what you're doing. We are here to build a community relationship with your temple, with your community. But at the same time, we are here to invite you to see whether you would be willing to teach us meditation and Buddhist principles. Then I said, wow, that's a great idea. Why not? I would be happy to do that. So I thought maybe 7, 8, 10 officers would come here to do meditation with me, maybe not in uniform. So we set up a day. And guess what? On that day, our center is actually located by a busy road, and a police bus stopped in front of the temple, and then all the officers started getting off the police bus, and they line up coming to our temple along the corridor, and people around our temple started looking at us. What's going on? How come that many police officers, maybe a biggest, best known, a notorious criminal, is hiding inside this temple?
So they didn't expect that many people.
Yeah. So they came here, about 47 police officers. And so they all came in uniform with their guns and everything. So I gave an introduction to Buddhist principles and meditation. We also practice meditation. So I took some pictures and posted them in the Facebook. My goodness, within 1 hour, these pictures started exploding in the social media. Everybody started sharing. This is something that they have never seen, like police officers practicing meditation with the Buddhist monk at the Buddhist temple. And the pictures turned out to be amazing, very powerful. And then following day, media started contacting us. And the neighborhood started waking up. My goodness, those police officers came to that temple not to catch the notorious criminal, but to meditate with the Buddhist monk.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Did that whole thing happen as a result of, I guess, the injustices that kind of happened around the George Floyd situation? Did this whole thing happen around that time, or is this something that you've kind of been building on for a while?
Yeah, no, actually, this happened during, there was a police brutality going on in Chicago, Dallas, in some other cities. And then people realized, wow, look, Canadian police are good. They are practicing meditation. They are starting their job by practicing meditation. And they said, all American police officers also should be doing the same thing. So I was invited by so many police headquarters, police departments, including United States. Even I was going to go to LA police department. But at the end, they canceled it. I don't know what happened. So I didn't go there. So anyways, and so that through that program, I was able to bring a positive message to the world. Because every country realized that this meditation is good for everyone, especially for the police officers. And so then I thought, I was able to bring a positive thing in the world. Now, I should bring another positive thing to the entire world. So then I thought, okay, now is the time to call every country a mindful and kind nation. So even CNN also started talking about my meditation program with Canadian police. And then still actually the program is going on. It's not happening more often, but any police department in the United States is interested in this meditation program. I wouldn't mind going there and helping them, teaching them. I think meditation is good for them because one thing, Eric and Jen, we need to understand, we also need police force in the society,
right,
to maintain the law and order, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Are not there with a bad intention. Maybe there are, some officers, they have big head, they are drunk with power, right? And so they are misusing their power. But police officers are there to help us to protect the community, to protect the citizens of a country. But at the same time, you need to understand they are going through so much. They are suffering from PTSD, right? They're suffering from anxieties, depression, emotional troubles. And so I think what happens with them is that they can't show the weakness, okay? Although they don't like what they're doing, they cannot talk about it. That is kind of social stigma for them. Like if you talk about your stress, they think you're not fit for the job. So they think, I'm not here to get the help, I'm here to help you. But guess what? Although they are in that uniform, they are human beings. Mm-hmm. They are seeing every day someone is dying, or they are seeing shooting. They are subject to violence. They are subject to all kinds of negativity. And they are chasing someone, the criminals, to catch them. And so they are ignoring their stress, their anxiety, their depression. And so there comes a moment, again, those are anxieties, stress, fear, anger, hatred, these negative emotions blinding their eyes. So they become blind and they don't know. They can't actually identify who is the bad guy, who is the good guy. And so, but I strongly believe if we can give the meditation training to the police officers, and we can reduce a lot of violence, we can teach them not to react to the situation, but to respond, right?
Yeah,
that's not to react, but to respond. That's a great way to say it.
Yeah, definitely a great way to say it. And I love that you do that for Canada. Have you met any sort of resistance? I imagine there's a lot of maybe red tape that you have to go through in order to sort of get the police departments to start utilizing this sort of practice. Has it been pretty fluid as far as getting your work into the U.S.?
Well, this is the thing. They need this, but at the same time, they also have a reluctance to this new discipline. I think that's, I understand why though, because I'm a Buddhist monk, but I always tell people, I'm a Buddhist monk, but I'm not here to convert anyone. My job is not to convert anyone. You be whoever you are, but I'm here to help you to become emotionally, psychologically strong and healthy. And I strongly believe kindfulness, kindness, compassion, and meditation, mindfulness. All these are positive qualities. Let's say, Eric and Jen, let's say you are in California, I'm here in Toronto. I'm a Buddhist monk, you're lay people. But we are human beings. We are breathing, even at this moment, right? Do we call this breath a Christian breath, a Buddhist breath, or American breath, or Canadian breath?
No, we definitely don't. But I definitely know a lot of people that do.
Yeah.
You know?
The breath is the life force. It's the life-saving mechanism. It's an art. It's an energy. We all need this. So we are teaching people this art of breathing. This art of breathing with kindfulness. Anyone can do it, right? And they will benefit from this. So modern science and psychology, neuroscience have done a lot of research into this, and they have proven that meditation is good for everyone. Now let me tell you this. This mindfulness, is the quality of the mind, right? Now, when you do something mindfully and you benefit from it, and it makes you see the things as they really are. Now, let's say we all have these negative emotions, negative tendencies. The moment you become mindful of anger, let's say anger, we all have this major issue. We all get upset, angry. Now, the moment you become mindful of anger, this being mindful of anger cannot let anger grow. It will stop right there.
Will that be is that the same as awareness, like mindfulness and awareness? basically being the same force, right?
Yeah. And so then once you become aware of that, mindful of that, then it stops growing. Then you're not letting the emotion win over the intelligence. Okay? Then you just let the intelligence grow. And when your intelligence is stronger than the emotion, then you know what you're doing. And then you're not going to react. You're just going to respond. Okay, then instead of yelling and screaming, shooting, they say, hey, Eric, let's talk. So what's the problem? Let's try to help one another. You help me, I help you. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like a de-escalation.
Yeah, like a de-escalation. What are your thoughts? I mean, I completely agree with you as far as I respect all lineages of spirituality. Absolutely love the teachings of the Buddha, also the teachings of Jesus. And so we ascribe to a lot of different types of teachings. But one thing that comes up a lot, especially now, is this idea of a global spiritual sort of awakening that's happening on our planet right now. And a lot of people in the New Age community ascribe to that. And I want to know what you think of that. Is this something that is coming from maybe an egoic perspective, or is this something that's just been going on in that sort of cyclical way that Earth and maybe that karma wheel goes?
This is the thing. I think, even here, I have so many young people and so many people coming to talk to me about what I'm doing. And what they're saying is that this is what we all need. Let's say every year, I organize an annual event. I call it Kindful Canada Symposium. It's a conference. So in this day-long conference, I have speakers from various disciplines, various fields, like scientists, neuroscientists, psychologists, doctors, First Nation elders, and then we organize group meditation, group Tai Chi practice, group Qigong practice. And when those who come here, one thing becomes very clear from their feedback: this is what we all need. Now, who are the people in this audience? These are not Buddhists. These are not Buddhist monks. These are the professional people, young people who are coming here from different fields, different cultural, religious, racial backgrounds. And then they are beginning to see the essence of kindness. Kindness has to be the power. Today I was talking about this kind of power. We are becoming interested in the political power, economic power, global power, but we need to understand these powers are going to change. They are not impermanent. If you really want to create a peaceful, happy, healthy life, society, nation, world, guess what? We need to cultivate and develop 5 powers within. Power of faith, power of energy, power of mindfulness, power of concentration, power of wisdom. If we can equip ourselves with these 5 powers, we can not only make ourselves strong and healthy and happy, peaceful, harmonious, but I strongly believe we can have a global stability with peace, light, wisdom, happiness, joy. And everybody has these powers. Have faith in yourself, have faith in kindness, compassion. This is what we are lacking. I think people are, especially the new generation, are getting fed up with what's going on in the world. You know, all this violence, political, social unrest, and stabbing, killing, war, right? And the people are becoming very partial. People are becoming biased. People are starting to hating one another. They're saying, you don't belong here. And people make negative remarks. People disrespect others. And this new generation is becoming actually sick with those negative reactions in the world.
Right. And I feel like the younger generation, depression is much more prevalent. And I read a little piece that about you and your thoughts on depression and a tincture that you developed to help with depression and kind of coping with depression without medication. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, this is the thing. Well, I make a very interesting remark for the world. When you become sick, let's say physically, you need medication to recover. But the clinics, doctors don't have any medication for your mental sickness. For the mental sickness, the only medication is the meditation. It's the meditation that can heal your mind. Now, how can we do this? Now, I think I already told you, like this 2 years ago, on Mental Health Awareness Month, I think in January in Canada. I think it's also the same in the United States. So they highlight a successful story, someone who has been through depression or suicidal and how that person recovers from it. So if that person is like a hero. So one of my students called Ryan Joseph, this guy actually was very suicidal. He was suffering from deep depression, and he was seeing this doctor, psychologist, who is also one of my students of meditation class. And the day this guy went to that clinic, he was very suicidal, and medication, whatever medication the doctor gave, it didn't work. And so the doctor said, look, before you make any final decision, would you like to go and see this Buddhist monk? I think he can help you. So this young man was very happy to hear that. He said, can you give me the address? I would like to go and see him now. So this guy came here to our temple, and he was shaking. When he rang the doorbell, one of our monks went to to receive him. And he was shaking. He had a lot of cuts on his hands. So this monk came to my room. He said, there's this kind of person looking for you, but it seems that guy is not looking good. There are a lot of cuts on his hands. He's shaking, and he's looking for you. So I was doing some work, so I came to talk to him. And of course, he was shaking. He said, I came here to talk to you. So I received him with a lot of compassion and love and kindness. Okay, let's go. Everything will be fine. Let's sit down and talk. So we sat down. So I listened to his story. And after listening to his story, and so I kind of course, increased my compassion, my caring for him, because I strongly believe in this energy, the healing energy that we all have. And then I was just radiating that compassion, kindness, love to that person. And then I said, everything will be fine. Just relax, just breathe and relax. Everything will be fine. So I kind of made him see get the glimpse of light, the hope, he became hopeless. And he said, there's no point of living. So I said, no, wait a minute. There's a hope for you. So I said, do you get this glimpse of hope, the faith? And I believe you can reclaim your life. You can have what you failed to. It's not that you fail. I said, you just learned a lesson, but there are many other options. Now I kind of said something like, in Asia, there's a particular saying. Now, when a young man goes through all the problems because of a relationship with a girl, you don't have to, take your life for that. And then I kind of joked with him. I said, my friend, look, there is not just only one fish in the ocean.
It's true.
Oh, yes, sir. Lots of fish out there.
Lots of fish out there, so colorful.
Yeah,
That's true.
that is true.
All different kinds of fish.
So when I said that was a kind of shocking point for him. And he just woke up. And then, of course, I explained. And then, I invited him for some tea. And I think this is also something that he never received, the warm welcome, kindness. And I made tea for him, and we enjoyed some cookies or the tea. And we spent another hour. And that's it. That was the game changer experience for him. So the thing is, like that, there are so, like, when people get into depression for a reason. They ignore. Let's say when you get stressed out, when you feel anxious, when something bothers you, actually, you need to talk to someone. You need to take some steps to recover from it. You can't just ignore. If you ignore these things, they are going to snowball. And there will come a day you can't handle it anymore. Then you're going to experience this, you're going to get this volcanic eruption experience. Boom.
And now that you're talking about that, I mean, wanted to segue into just obviously quarantine is happening for a lot of people, right? Yeah. And so I imagine a lot of the emotions that you're talking about are happening right now for a lot of people. How would you, what advice could you give for our community or just people in general of how to navigate through these sort of hard times in quarantine? Because there's a lot of people at home spending a lot of time with themselves,
Mm-hmm.
Well, always see the positive side bright side of your life.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Even let's say this pandemic, before pandemic, our life was so crazy, right? It was a crazy world. People were just chasing so many things, going after one another, ignoring the fundamental values. They failed to spend time with the family, with the kids, with their loved ones, with their relatives, with their friends. People are just going crazy with all this technology, money, fame, this and that. But now people feel kind of lonely because they don't have it, right? But wait a minute. You need to understand what is the most important thing at the moment. Look, you need to appreciate for a fact that this COVID-19 actually saved the world in so many ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we'd agree.
We have fresh air, we have enough time. Even those days people, no, I don't have time. I have this meeting, that meeting, I have this conference, that conference, I have this event, that event.
Mm-hmm.
It's like nature's way of slowing us down,
Yeah, absolutely.
And now we have fresh air, we have fresh air. And so I said, look, at least, there are so many people in the world who don't have the privileges we do. let's say at least in the United States, government actually gave you a helping hand, monetary help. Even in Canada, the Canadian government did the same thing. Still, actually, we are so lucky in Canada. Those who have no job, they are eligible for government fund, right? So, and then now we have, even for me actually, I'm greatly appreciating this for myself. Before pandemic, actually, my life was also kind of crazy because there are so many spiritual demands, like, spiritual needs, and people was, and one thing that when people ask for some help, then I don't feel like saying no, because I want to help. I want to give my kindness, my compassion. And, but it was too much. Now look, I don't have to worry about doing the public speaking. I have a lot of time. Mm-hmm. Now I'm saying yes to you because now I have time. Probably if you were to ask me this interview without COVID-19, I would say, Eric, I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a lot of, we saw some of your photos on your Instagram. You were doing a lot of different events, a lot of different things. It was really inspiring.
Yeah.
So that's why now we have time to talk to so many people, and we are doing, actually we are doing a lot of things online too, virtually. Or if people can come to, of course, our center is still remaining closed for the public, but every day we are visiting their home through the technology, through the social media, through the virtual programs. All you have to do is just turn on your your phone or your laptop or desktop. You can see us. You can still be part of our program. So during pandemic time, do you know what I did? People were going crazy. So I started doing a daily mindfulness meditation program for the public. I was doing 3 programs every day for 3 months, from March till first week of June. From 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., mindfulness meditation program for the adults, for anyone online. And then from 6:30 to 7 p.m., half an hour mindfulness meditation program for the kids. And then from 8 to 9 p.m. is blessings and protection chanting for the humanity. In addition to this, I started this new program I call counseling session, one-on-one session through the Zoom. So I would see at least 2 or 3 people. And so when this high time was over and people started kind of relaxing, then in the summer, from first week of June till second week of October, I was running an outdoor meditation program. Our center has a nice, beautiful park, and a lot of people would show up. And there also, I started another new program that is especially for the first responder community. I call it Mindful Conversation Under the Tree with the Urban Buddhist Monk. So I have been seeing at least 3 to 4 people every day. It could be a doctor or police officer or nurse or general public. And so when you spend time, I set up that in under the tree for a reason. If of course you're staying inside, you're getting tired of staying inside, but you can go to your little garden. You can come to our temple garden. When you come here, I don't want you to come inside. Let's sit down under the tree. Let's have a mindful and friendly conversation. So, that's what we call nature is healing. When you sit under the tree you feel the energy of the trees. You can smell the fresh air, oxygen coming from the trees.
Right. It's true. That's true. I love sitting in nature.
You can listen to, you can hear the birds chirping, right?
Yeah.
And it's also very soothing, very nice. And and then you can feel the cool breeze coming from different direction. So all these are kind of medicine for someone who's going through loneliness, suffering from loneliness, stress, depression. So, and then we also do for 10 to 15 minutes guided mindfulness meditation. And this 1 hour session, 60-minute session actually helps them a lot. That becomes the medicine for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I absolutely love that you are able to offer that work. We are at about 1 hour and 21 minutes. I don't want to take too much of your schedule. We appreciate you spending the time to talk to us. Very, very, very much. I mean, we can go on for probably another hour or so, but wanted to ask you if there's any advice that you can give, especially to our younger communities that are following this type of work, that are down here in the West and United States. What type of advice can you give to them during this time, ways to cope with, I guess, the ever-evolving times that we're in right now?
Well, it's a good question that you asked me. Well, let me tell you something. Don't worry about anything. Don't panic. I always encourage people to sing a kindergarten song. I want everyone to sing that song, Do you know what it is?
The kindergarten song?
No, what is it?
Yeah, what is that?
I love you, you love me. That one?
That's Barney, I think, right?
Yeah.
This is actually very, very deep, practical, but very funny. Row, row, row down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Life is but a dream. Everything is impermanent. Everything changes. Don't hang on to anything. This pandemic shall pass too. Don't hang on to it. Don't panic. Be mindful to keep rowing the boat of life kindly, compassionately, gently, mindfully, consciously, harmoniously, joyfully. Don't worry about anything. Just, breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. Everything will be fine. Just see the bright side of everything. Just count on the blessings that you have. You already have so much on your plate that you're not appreciating. There are so many people who are suffering from not having even a meal a day. Mm-hmm. But here we have so much. We have so much. We have at least the technology. Now we are, although I'm here in Toronto, although in California, we are connected. We are seeing one another. We can hear, we can talk, we can, have this mutual understanding. We need to be grateful for all this, right?
Absolutely.
So be grateful for everything that you have. And you can't find anyone who has everything in life. What we have here, maybe other people don't have them. What they have in their life, we don't have them here.
Right.
So life is always like that. Mm-hmm. So what you have to do is don't worry about anything. Just keep rowing the boat of life happily, mindfully, by appreciating everything that you have in your life at this moment. And be kind to yourself. This is the most important thing. When somebody goes through a hard time, difficult time, the best medicine is the kindness. Be kind to yourself. And panicking, worrying is not the way of loving yourself. It's actually being unkind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. And during this time, see whether you can do something good for others to make them happy. For me, especially, let's say I told you my story, how I spend, people ask me, oh, Bhante, so how did you get through this? What did you do? So I said, well, I did not even have time to think about COVID-19 because my plate was full. I was running all the programs, helping people. And I said, I'm very grateful for myself for being able to offer such services to the public. And I was able to bring joy, happiness, hope, faith to so many people. And not only that, whatever honorariums or generosity I received from some people, I used that donation, that money, to feed so many people in Bangladesh, the poor people. And now, when I reflect on all this, I feel so energized. I feel very happy. Mm-hmm. One thing, I want people to understand this, and this would be my last advice, maybe, maybe conversation with you. Then we will finish this. One thing that, don't be negative. Don't be pessimistic about anything, but be realistic. I always say to people, I talk about this. It's called optimistic realism or realistic optimism. Be realistic, at the same time, be optimistic. Okay? And now, during this time, we need to understand we are human beings. We are here not to live forever. There will come a day we will say goodbye to one another. Bye. Right?
It's true.
Yeah.
We will die. But before we say that final goodbye, always be mindful to do something good for others. Now, Eric and Jen, what you're doing right now is a wonderful thing. Through your podcast, maybe you're giving some hope. You're bringing some hope, good message, motivation, inspiration, words of wisdom to at least to some people. That is the best thing to do. You're doing something meaningful, right? Absolutely. And always do something meaningful for others. If you really believe in happiness and joy, you must understand joy comes from doing something good for others in whatever way you can. At least do a little act of kindness. And after, if you think you can't do little act of kindness for others, if you can't do any meaningful thing, good thing for others, then don't worry. At least try not to hurt anyone. That's the best thing you could do.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending your time and to come on with us and speak to our listeners. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, very, very much appreciated. Thank you for agreeing to do this. It was really, really enlightening. I definitely learned a lot. And yes, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us and taking time out of your day, especially out there in Canada. I know there's a time difference, so much gratitude, and we're very, very extremely grateful. So thank you. So for you, you do online meditation services that people can kind of tap into, right? Can they go to the Canadian mindfulnation.ca to view your work? Are you doing virtual sessions that way?
I have two websites. It's called Canada and mindfulnation.ca. That's for my global movement. And other one is my personal website. It's called urbanbuddhistmonk.org. And people always can find me in the social media, Instagram, Urban Buddhist Monk, and even LinkedIn, Urban Buddhist Monk, Bhante Saranapala, and Facebook, Bhante Saranapala. I normally give my weekly meditation programs Facebook Live and YouTube Live every Wednesday. So they can visit my social media timelines.
Wonderful.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, thank you so much. We'll include that obviously on the website. So definitely good luck to you and all the work that you do. Thank you for sharing your love and your light and your teaching with the rest of the world. And we all appreciate it. And hopefully we can touch base soon and talk more about kind of where we're at in our journeys, maybe post-COVID.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And maybe both of you could start this, let us call together USA, a mindful and kind nation. How about that?
I'm down
I would
for
love
that.
Yes.
I'm ready to go with that.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for teaching us kindfulness. Really appreciated that teaching, by the way.
Absolutely.
This is what the Urban Buddhist Monk does in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Way to adapt to the times. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to start singing that song a little bit more. I think
row your boat.
Row your boat. Yeah. Because it takes the seriousness out of things, It makes it nice, lighthearted.
Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. But you know what? I think this would be nice. There's another song, actually, I forgot to mention. I'm actually teaching everyone. I sing it everywhere in my public speaking. It's actually, it helps everyone. Like, especially the kids, even the adults, the big kids, they also can sing that. It's simple. It's called the wishing happiness to yourself, you and others. It's like may I be well, may I be happy, may I be peaceful, may I be free. And then may you be well, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be free. Then may all be well, may all be happy, may all be peaceful, may all be free. So maybe we can sing it together.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to kind of go along with you though.
Yeah. May I be well.
May I be happy.
May I be peaceful. May I be free. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be free. May all be well. May all be happy. May all be peaceful. May all be free. That should be a Hollywood kindful song.
We love it.
I love that. You just put some drums behind it and some synthesizers, you'd be good to go.
Actually, in some Montessori's in the United States, they are singing this kindful song with the kids every day.
Oh, I love that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely makes sense in a Montessori too. Yeah. Very cool. All right, Bhante, thank you so much. We hope you enjoy the rest of your week and stay safe. Thank you so much, and then we'll talk to you soon.
And you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.